speaker before we gamify our prizes with Lori is Heather. And I am so excited about having Heather join us today because this time last year, I was able to join her BOCES Center to talk about digital citizenship. And so, Heather, just because of time, I'm just going to let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Mary Allison. I am thrilled to be here. And I had the great fortune of working with Mary Allison last year as we launched every year. We have a teacher training, a tech-infused year-long teacher training. And the theme was digital citizenship. So we do project-based learning around certain themes. And wow, did she set us off on a great path. And I'm going to share with you my ideas around project-based learning. And specifically, I addressed the needs of ELS. The consortium that I was working with that I just described was for English, teachers of English language learners. But I just want to say straight out that everything that I'm talking about today are best practices for all learners. We know that what works for ELS will work for everybody, not always the other way around, right? And I'll talk about that in a moment. So as you know, I'm Heather Rubin, and if you need to reach me, all my services through the Long Island Auburn are free. So we do consultations around working and meeting the needs of English language learners, working with them, culturally responsive instruction and that. So please feel free to reach out. If you're a teacher in New York State, I can direct you to your Auburn, or if you're on Long Island, I'm your contact. So here we go. So I just want to start by asking you, what makes a classroom an engaging and equitable space for learning? And this is a virtual classroom or a physical classroom. If you could think of one or two phrases think about your best lesson or your best project, or what made it engaging. And do you have any thoughts about what made it equitable? Now, just give me a minute to think about that. And as you're, entering some things, I'm going to go ahead and advance to the next slide. So we're talking about engaging and equitable. Thank you, voice and choice, right? That's very, very on point. Digital and global, exactly. Able to access the information, right? So all of these things are a part of project-based learning, and why it's so exciting to use project-based learning as a way to reach all learners, right? But to also prepare them for the advanced literacies of this digital age society that we live in, right? And using technology for good. You can do global PBL, you can do PBL within your school community, your local community, the state, the country, obviously the world. So it's so exciting to talk about. It's my favorite thing. And I want to just share this slide with you because I talk about a lot of projects. I feature projects in my book that I co-authored with Dr. Andrea Honigsfeld and Lisa Estrada. And this is based on our experiences. We are all started out on Long Island, New York State teachers. And what we found is that we really needed a model, a framework for digital age teaching for English learners, because we were missing, we were talking about the 4 literacy skills always, right? Listening, speaking, reading, writing, but we are well beyond it, okay? We're talking about 6 literacy skills and have been forever. In 1996, the National Council of Teachers of English had written a statement about the fact that we have 6 literacy skills. And it took us until now, I think, for the world to understand that we have to teach viewing and visually representing as part of our multi-literacy, curriculum. We know that ELs learn through multiple modalities so that they can show what they know, right? By viewing, by visually representing. If they can't write it, they can maybe just answer verbally, or they can draw a picture. And this is how we provide equitable access to the content, right? Show us what you know in the way that you can demonstrate it, even if you're limited in your English proficiency, or if you just have a preference. What is your choice? How do you want to show us what you know? And also, as far as receptive skills, we know now, everybody loves Book Creator. Why? Why do we love Book Creator? Because Book Creator allows kids to not only consume, right, but to create, and using multiple modalities around content-based instruction. So again, creators rather than just consumers. We have 5 C's: communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and culture now, right? Because we know Partnership for 21st Century America, all you techies out there, you know, there were 4 C's, right? That was the big statement. But we acknowledge and celebrate 5 C's because you cannot forget culture. We talked about culture. I love that the previous presentations around the topic of creating a good school culture and what that means. But we have to always consider culture. And when we do these things, right, we're going to increase social interaction online, in the classroom, in the world. And we also, when I mentioned the affective filter in that slide, it means bringing kids' anxieties down so that they can get involved and they want to be involved because you're meeting their needs. All right. So how do we design activities for students that not only give them equitable access, right, and bridge that digital divide, but also foster civic readiness? I'm going to show you 2 examples. And it's all grounded in the New York State Education Department's CRSE framework, right? You can see that this is one of the principles, and it actually specifically names project-based learning on social justice issues as a way to ensure high expectations and rigorous instruction for all students, right? I get so excited about this stuff, because it's so long in coming that we're, getting involved in this. So here's an example from the consortium that Mary Alice addressed. 2 teachers collaborated between 2 different school districts, right? And they talked about advocacy. They had a letter writing campaign for this 3rd grade students on why you should adopt rather than shop for pets. And they learned about animal cruelty, and they had to learn how to write persuasive letters, and they had to send them out to their community to persuade them that they should adopt and not shop for animals. And they also took part in, Baidoui had a Read to Dogs program. And unfortunately, right before they were supposed to be there in person, it was closed due to the pandemic. And so they used, they were using all kinds of tools, Nearpod, Google Slides, all that stuff, but they used Flipgrid to record themselves reading to their own pets as part of this literacy project and creating videos, all in the effort to raise awareness and advocate for animals. So that was at the lower level. Now, on a much larger scale, something that we're a part of at the Auburn every single year, we have done this. We gather kids from all of the districts on Long Island. We select candidates to participate in a mock assembly in Albany, where they actually represent their assembly member from their district. And one of the things they must do is interview this assembly member and then actually present the argument of that assembly member in the mock assembly. So they have to research and they have to develop their arguments as if they were that person, right? It takes a lot of critical thinking, takes a lot of digital literacy. We spend over 30 hours training them for this event, and then they get more training when they get there for the weekend. Normally happens in person, but guess what? We had to do it virtually for 2 years, the last 2 years, and it was pretty spectacular. It was some undertaking, but we accomplished it. We also found out that working virtually allowed them to collaborate a lot more because we were using kids from all over the region. And it actually, in many ways, made it a lot easier for us to connect. It also brought home a lot of the digital literacy skills that we had been always training them on, when it really brought it to the forefront. And so another great thing where you're taking learning civics and then actually doing it, right? That's project-based learning. You're doing it. And the social aspect is beyond description. If you ever have an opportunity to check this out, you really should. It's really cool. So that's the site. So you can go visit that. I'll share all these links. Oh, sorry. So let's talk about project-based learning. I posted a blog for Core and Connect around how you you intentionally select tools so that you can scaffold instruction for all students, that all students, no matter what their knowledge base, their language proficiency, their cultural background, that they have access to this process, right? And you can see here on this there are steps obviously in project-based learning that you go through, right? Where you, in this case, activating and background knowledge and choosing a topic, right? Starting to create something, investigating, right? You have to go through this evaluating, analyze, inquiry process. I'm not going to go on and on because I know I'm running out of time. But the point is, it's all student-centered. And technology allows us to do that. Student-centered instruction. You step to the side. I have all these resources for you that you can look at, but I want to show you one more before I go. How are we doing for time? Oh, 2 minutes. So let me see if I can. No, it's taking me there. One more slide. So I was going to have you talk about some of your favorite tools, but maybe you could just reflect on that. And in what ways do they provide equitable access to learning activities for all learners? So think about it. And when next time you're selecting tools, is this helping somebody to express themselves verbally? Is it helping somebody to use writing or reading? Is it a translation tool? You know, there's a great example is Common Lit, right? Because if you check out Common Lit and you see that it has the immersive reader, it has the guiding questions, it has the vocabulary translation, right? It'll give you, it has a glossary that you can do. It has Lexile reading. It meets the needs of so many kids. So if you just build your projects and curate resources for them, that's your job, that they can access equitably. You can just, guide them through this process and lead them through that investigative, adventure. So this is a protocol that I love. It's called the SHAC protocol: share, help, ask, comment. So I just want to open the floor for the last minute that I have. If you could say, my ELA teachers really like Common Lit. Yeah, definitely. So in what ways do you see, yourself using project-based learning to help your students? If you just want to share, help, anything you want to put into the chat. We use this protocol for our students also to give them a choice. So sometimes we say, well, what do you think? But by giving them these 4 options, we're scaffolding a little, like, okay, well, I don't have to have the perfect response, but I can just tell them that, oh, I did something like that, or, maybe I can help you because I know someone who did this, or I have a question, or just have a comment that's kind of like, wow, that was great. And we give them some framework. And that's really what it is when you're working with all students, making sure they have options and they have a voice. So thank you very, very much. And I hope to see you all again in this wonderful, wonderful community, this digital citizenship community.
Heather, thank you so much, because this is just like our kickoff. We're really excited this time next year to have a live student showcase where we can not have the grown-ups talking about it. We got to empower us first, right? But
Right.
let's see what this looks like in action. And yes, throughout the city of New York, but the people that are registered to attend, we've got Saudi Arabia, we've got Mexico, we got Argentina, there was Australia, all around the United States as well. I know we got California and Texas and Florida. And this can be something really powerful. And the start of this community, I feel like, talk about breaking down classroom walls and connecting in a really meaningful way to do some great projects together. So this is just the very beginning, and we're very happy that you were able to join us today.
Thank you. And I apologize. I wanted to get more feedback from you about the kind of projects that you've done. So, you could talk more, but it's just, I think I spoke too much.
No, today was supposed to be, we were just inspiring, getting those ideas out there, meeting people where they are, and we'll help move them forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Lori.